Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vivian, a law student from the University of Tarumanegara with the student ID number of 205230103. We are here today because the climate countdown has begun, and we are nowhere near where we need to be. Billions of people all around the world are already suffering from our failure to act. Climate disruption, due to our outdated reliance on fossil fuels, is causing unprecedented wildfires, more intense cyclones, floods, droughts, and other weather extremes. Toxic air pollution is also choking our major cities and harming our health. No country is immune from the climate crisis, but in every country, it is the poorest and most vulnerable who are hardest hit, despite having the least to cause the major problems. Over the past 25 years, the richest 10% of global population has been responsible for more than half of all carbon emissions. And the poorest 50% were only responsible for 7% of emissions. This is why I'm urging governments to take 6 climate positive actions to recover better together, which are: invest in green jobs, do not bail out polluting industries, especially coal, end fossil fuel subsidies, and put a price on carbon, take climate risks into account in all financial and policy decisions, work together in solidarity, and most importantly, do not leave anyone behind. This is the course of action that thousands of companies, cities, regions, universities, and investors are already choosing by committing to net zero emissions by 2050 at the least. They are moving to protect the people and the planet. Momentum is building. Cities and regions with a carbon footprint larger than the US and companies earning over $11 trillion have committed to net zero emissions by 2050. Double the number since the 2019 Climate Action Summit. Similarly, investors managing over $4 trillion have also joined the race to zero, more than doubling since the initiative began. But it is still necessary for governments to create tax and regulatory frameworks that will further stimulate climate action by the private sector. Every country, city, company, bank, and organization must have a transition plan to reach net zero emissions. We also need to see much greater efforts to build resilience in the vulnerable countries, which do the least to cause climate change but bear the worst impacts. I call on developed countries to meet their commitment to mobilize $100 billion a year for mitigation, adaptation, and resilience in developing countries. We must work to create the conditions needed for a massive mobilization of funds. We must keep building climate ambition, and we need to also raise our voices and push the governments to do better, especially those who emit the most. To those yet to join, my message is simple. We can only win the race to zero together. So, I urge you all to get on board. The countdown has begun. My name is Vivian, and this was my presentation on climate crisis. Thank you for watching.